In today's video, we will integrate security solution which is used to detect cybersecurity threats with ChatGPT and automate incident enrichment with artificial intelligence. This lab will be created in the cloud environment, and in just a couple of minutes, you can have working integration with OpenAI. So let's get started. First of all, we need to create a SIEM solution. And for my long-time viewers, you already know it, it's going to be Microsoft Sentinel. I work with this tool on daily basis, and it's incredible what you can achieve with it. It's considered as a leader in SIEM space by Gartner, and more importantly, you can create it for free. All you really need is an active Azure subscription, which you can get for free, and actually the first time you will register, the Microsoft will give you $200 credit for free, which is more than enough to set up this lab. So once you have your account, you can go ahead and access portal.azure.com and log in to your which is a solution where you can store all your logs. First of all, and we will access them and analyze them later. Workspace. On top of the Log Analytics workspace, we will later install Microsoft Sentinel. But let's start with the Log Analytics workspace itself and search for it in this bar. So Log Analytics workspace, and let's click on this service. On this page, you can click on Create, and we will be moved to a new window where you can set up your Log Analytics workspace. So the first two windows are for the subscription and resource group. The subscription will be your default subscription if you newly created Microsoft account. And for the resource group, we will simply create a new one and name it. Press OK, and we need to also name the instance for the Log Analytics workspace, which will be also the name for the Microsoft Sentinel. To keep it simple, I will use the same one, and we can move to the region, which is the last step. This is very important setting for the production environment. In our lab, where we are going to ingest just a couple of megabytes of data and do nothing else, it doesn't really matter which region you will pick. So select something which is close to you. I will leave it to the North Europe and click on Review and Create on the button. So let's get quick validation. Everything looks fine, and we can go ahead and create Log Analytics workspace. It shouldn't take too long actually, just a few seconds, and the deployment should be finished. Alright, and once it's done, you can go ahead and click Go to a resource. This is the Log Analytics workspace, and on top of that, we will install the Microsoft Sentinel itself. It's nothing complicated. Again, we will simply search for Microsoft Sentinel, click here, and again, select Create. In here, we have the CyberCheck Sentinel workspace, which we have created before. You can select that and add Microsoft Sentinel on top of that. This might take a little while, so be patient, but once it's completed, you should be redirected to the Microsoft Sentinel homepage. Alright, so Microsoft Sentinel is created and my free trial is activated. I'm actually given heads up that during the trial, I have up to 10 gigabits per day of data for free, both for Microsoft Sentinel and the Log Analytics workspace. And alright, so nothing to worry about. This is nice because the lab that we will create will actually ingest small amount of data, but not 10 gigabits. So you have nothing to worry about when it comes to paying for the Microsoft Sentinel. Let's click on OK. And let's actually install and get some data which I have mentioned. Microsoft was thinking about it and prepared a solution for you. So if you scroll on the left tab right here, you can select Content Hub. And here are different packages that you can install into your Microsoft Sentinel. We are interested in training labs, so let's search training lab and we will select this one, Microsoft Sentinel Training Lab. It will install different types of artifacts. We have some analytics rules, hunting queries, playbooks, but more importantly, there's a data in there. So let's click on install. And here you can simply click and create. I think there is also a redirection to a lab, and it should also tell, yeah, right here. So okay, we need to specify which resource group. So select the same resource group which we have used for Microsoft Sentinel, just to have it everything on one place, and the workspace as well. Click review and create. And I actually want to go back because I want to show you. Okay, that's fine. I want to show you, actually let's search for a Microsoft Sentinel Training Lab. Pricing page, training guide. I think there is a GitHub repository which should guide you through the training lab. So actually, if you want to learn Microsoft Sentinel, this is a great place to start with. It's a practical hands-on, and it will guide you through the basics such as data connectors, analytics rules, and incident management. But we are here to integrate Microsoft Sentinel with ChatGPT. And for that, we will need two additional things. One is a playbook, which will be run on the background of Microsoft Sentinel and get all the details from the incident and pass them to ChatGPT. To access ChatGPT itself, we need to call its API. And for that, we will need a key. To get your API key, you need to register on OpenAI website. And once you do so, you just simply go to your profile. Let's click on your profile. And here is user API keys. And actually it's on legacy now. Okay, I didn't know that. So I guess it will be moved. Okay, it's available in project API keys. So I guess this is the new way to access them. Go to platform.openai.com/API keys. And you can create a new secret in here. So let's call this cyber check. Yeah, default project is okay, and select create a secret key. And I cancel it. Okay. So let me go back and create a secret key. And in here you will just copy this, and we will use this later in our video as we create the playbook. Okay, in the meantime, my deployment for the training lab is finished. So let's go back to Microsoft Sentinel and just verify Microsoft Sentinel, cool. And let's go to Cyber Check Sentinel. And if I go to incidents, we should have 3 incidents created. All right, and here they are. Malicious inbox rule affected by user, Solorigate network beacon, and sign-ins from IPs that attempt sign-in to disable account. That's brilliant. So we have some sample incidents. If I click on any of them, I'm getting an additional details, and we will use these incidents in our demo with ChatGPT. So let's move on. Let's move on to the last stage and create the playbook so we can make the integration between the SIEM solution and ChatGPT. And before we do so, let's actually move to the settings. And there is one more thing I want to set up before we leave. So in here is settings, and we need to enable playbook permissions. So we can configure permissions. And I will click on, and let's search for the Cyber Check Sentinel resource group. Perfect. Let's select this. And okay, you cannot see it. I'm not sure why it's so hidden, but Let me zoom out. Okay, yeah, now it works. So here is apply, hit apply, and now we can run the playbooks from the same solution on our incidents. So let's do the last step. Let's move to the automation section. And in here, we will create new automation as a playbook with incident trigger. Let's name it ChatGPT incident enrichment. We can enable diagnostic logs for this one. Therefore, we will know if this playbook is failing and what could be the issue during the troubleshooting. Let's click and review and create playbook, and this should create a blank playbook which we will later use and fill out with the steps to call ChatGPT and to enrich the incident inside the Microsoft Sentinel. Okay, so our playbook is prepared and we can start working on it. But before we start, let's actually go back to openai.com. And in here, you have the option to move to the playground section right here. And this is the web interface that you can utilize with APIs. So in here, you have system instructions where you can tell ChatGPT what he should specialize on or what his main goal is. So in here, you can say that he is a cybersecurity expert. Okay, you can have something like this, or your message could be much longer. So these are the system instructions. Here you have the model of ChatGPT. Those are being changed pretty frequently. So as we will demonstrate this on ChatGPT 4.0, it might change. I would say it will change in the future for sure. This model will be deprecated. It will take a year, maybe 2 years. So always check the official website documentation and look which model is working right now. And okay, so here are the enter user message, which you should know if you are using ChatGPT. This is where you will put your prompt in. And on the right, you have some additional options for optimizing your OpenAI model. So the main question, how you can call this API function? Well, here you have this icon, view code, and you are given multiple options how you can integrate this. So this one is for JSON, which we will use. It's a classic JSON format and it's structured very similarly what you have seen on this page. You have different values set up in here, and the main part is right over here. Text, the role, and you can add additional line for the prompt. So if I would say this is a test prompt, now you could run, maybe it will show me here. Here's the user, and this is the important section where you will put your prompt in. So we will use this as our post HTTP request, and once we get the answer, we can put it inside the Microsoft Sentinel incident. So let's start working on that. Let's do actually that. We will start by creating the variables first. You can do so by clicking on this plus button, and you can click on add an action, and here you can search for different options inside the Logic app itself. There is also one for ChatGPT, but since they are changing the OpenAI so frequently, it's actually not working because the models that are present in there are deprecated. That way I'm using the HTTP call, but before we do that, let's initialize few variables that will be during the deployment. So let's search for variable, and we will use this one, initialize variable, and we will create a few ones. So first one, let's call OpenAI URL, and let's actually rename this one as well. It will be a string, and the value is the OpenAI right here. I believe, where did we have it? I think it should be somewhere here. I cannot find it now. Okay, it's here. Post one chat completion. So you need to call it like that, like here, api.openai.com, and here's the important part. Okay, let's collapse this, and we can initialize another variable. We will make few of them, as I said earlier. So another one, this can be for the API key. Although I wouldn't recommend you, especially in the production environment, to put your API key like this inside the value. But since this is for just test and demonstration, I will leave the value here. Otherwise, you would implement this with something like Azure Key Vault to make it more secure. The value needs to start with the bearer, empty space. So make sure you have bearer and followed by empty space. And here after the empty space, you can paste in your API key. So let's copy this and paste it in here. Cool. And we can go ahead and collapse this once more. All right. So initialize another variable. And this can be our variable. I didn't want to do that. Delete note. This variable will be for the role of ChatGPT. Again, it will be a string. Let's name it the same way. And the value. So this one can write whatever you want. I have one prompt or one row prepared rather. I will paste it in here, and it says you are a cybersecurity analyst and I need you to evaluate current incident. You can read the rest if you want to. This will also, based on this, the ChatGPT will decide how to use your prompt, which will be used later. So let's do that. Let's create our variable for the prompt. This will be also string. And so here I will say, here you can do really anything, right? Because you can get a recommendation for the incident. So you can put multiple details and you want to get some additional context on just some recommendations, what should be done next. Or you could put the logs itself and analyze them by ChatGPT. You can put multiple details from the incident and get a report. So the prompts, they're limitless, right? Anything that comes to your mind, you can use it and go with it. In this video, we will create a simple prompt just to show you what are the capabilities of this integration. So I will say, give me recommendations. I want to get a recommendation based on following details, and the details will change based on the incident which will get created. So let's go with incident title, and we will put the variable for incident title. Here's the icon, this right here, and you can search for incident title right here. And it will take the incident title from the incident itself. And we can put multiple details just like that. So let's say we want to also the description, the entities, which can be the IP address or the user associated with the incident. And let's say we want also the incident created time. But you can put really anything, right? You can put the comment from the analyst, time generated, alert time generated. Sure. Oh no, it's gone for each. Well, let's put it back. I don't want that. Let's go with incident created time. This will be better. Just so we don't have the loop inside, because the incident can have multiple alerts and it want to incident created time. And now this might be, let's move it here, and I will remove for each delete. Yes, because what happened just now, it wanted to create a for each loop for each alert inside the incident, which I don't really want to do. So it would make the integration much more complex. Okay, so now we have the ChatGPT prompt. Let's create another action, which will be the response. So let's create another variable. And of course, you don't need to create the variables. You can put the information directly inside the HTTP request. But I like this way. It's more structured. It's easier to edit and make changes to it. You can reuse your variables inside your code, so it's not just one time. And I would say it's more scalable, and I like it. It's more pretty, so that's why we are initializing the variables like this. So now we have 5 different variables. Initials were for OpenAI URL, key, ChatGPT role, prompt, and the response. Now we can call the HTTP. So here is HTTP. The method needs to be post. The URL will be now the variable OpenAI URL. The headers. Okay, I actually forgot to put. No, it's fine. All right. No stress. Now the headers. Here you need to put the authorization. And for that we will use the API key. Lastly, its content type, which will be application JSON. Okay. And following by the body structure. So you can get the body from the view code, which will work well. I also have the body structure prepared from my previous integration, so I will copy paste it in here. The important stuff, max tokens. So if this value is too low, you might not get the response you are looking for. If the tokens are insufficient, the answer will get cut out and you are not getting the full information from ChatGPT. So just make sure to have this in appropriate value, let's say. The model, of course, you might want to change this based on the current documentation and which models are working. Right now it's GPT-4o. It's the newest model as I'm recording this video, but as I said, this is changing frequently, so you might want to change that. Inside the content, we will put the variables. So for the system, this is our ChatGPT role. And for the user, this is our ChatGPT prompt. Okay. And that looks fine. That should be everything we need. Now we will call the HTTP. And once we get the response, we can take the ChatGPT answer from that and paste it inside the Microsoft Sentinel. So let's put another action. This one will be for Microsoft Sentinel. And we want to add a command to incident. First, we need to fill in the incident arm ID. So let's search for ARM ID. I think this is the one. And the message. Now we are almost done with our playbook. All we need to do is put the response from the ChatGPT. Again, we can use this data from our previous steps and put in body response. Of course, this is not going to be in the prettiest format, but we can later optimize it, parse the JSON, and get it in more structured way. But other than that, we are done. We can go ahead and save this playbook. So if you click in here, you can save it. After you save this, we need to do one additional step and give this playbook permissions to write commands inside the Microsoft Sentinel. The way I do it, I search for the resource group. So it's the cyber check. And once you move into the resource group, you can access the access control. We click on the add and add role assignment. So the role will be Microsoft Sentinel responder. Okay, click on next. In here, select manage identity and select the members. And the manage identity, let's go and search for the playbook. I think I will name it ChatGPT. Okay, let's go maybe with like this, all system. ChatGPT demo, ChatGPT instance enrichment. Okay. ChatGPT instance enrichment. I think this is our playbook. Let's select that. And assignment type. Okay, permanent is fine. And we can go ahead and assign this privilege. Okay, that should be it. Now we can go back to Microsoft Sentinel. And let me actually create a new tab just so we have the playbook that we have created earlier. So ChatGPT. Okay, let's go back to CyberCheck Sentinel, to the incident section, and we can go ahead and let's try to run this on following incident sign-ins from the IPs. So if I go and click on the actions, you have the option to run a playbook. And here you should find your ChatGPT incident enrichment playbook. Damn it. So here it's ChatGPT incident enrichment. We can go ahead and run. All right, let's go to the incident. And I will also check in here if this is running. Okay, it's running. Running. Still running. Okay, succeeded. Perfect. So now if we look into the activity log of the Sentinel, this incident, we should see the recommendation. Okay, so this message was created by ChatGPT. Here, some details about the ChatGPT. Okay, this is the part, since we are put the entire response, we have everything in here, but following is this response from the ChatGPT itself. So first, the incident review, understand what is being reported, send from IP to disable. The key entity here is the IP address. Okay, that checks out. Check the incident created time to align with logs for specified period around this timestamp. Validate the IP address. Perform geolocation check for the IP address. That sounds good. Use threat intelligence platform to check the reputations of the IP. Okay, that's a good advice. Historic data analysis. Use the historic logs to see the IP that attempted to access other accounts or resources in the past. Examine the account activity. Check for anomalies, authentication log, cross-reference with other alerts. Okay, so you getting all this information from ChatGPT. And just like that, in a couple of minutes, you can have this absolutely amazing integration with OpenAI. You can do practically anything. So this was just simple use case, but let's say you will put in the logs itself and you want to design a KQL query which will help you to get this additional information. ChatGPT could also do that. Or I use it very frequently to generate reports. It's absolutely amazing for that. Lastly, if you want to improve the response and get rid of this nonsense, you can do so in the Logic app. We need to do one additional step. And if we go, let me go back. So here you can click on the run history. And if we scroll down, there is this HTTP request. And here we have the body response, right? No, here. So here is the status code and we have the body. So we got everything from here pasted inside the incident. But the important part is here, right? It's the, yes, here's the response, right? It's the content section. So we can copy this. We can copy the body. We can copy this here. And if we go back to the Logic App Designer right here, and after this HTTP call, we will put another action. Let's search for JSON. Like this, parse JSON. The content will be the HTTP body. And the schema, we can click in here, use sample payload to generate schema. Let's paste it here and just remember that we are interested in the message content. Okay, that's done. And now if we click on the add command, we should be able to use our parse JSON. But not everything is here. Okay, see more. Okay, it should be somewhere in here. Body content. Body content. I don't want it here. Okay, I think that should be it. Now it should be better. So let's save it and let's run it one more time. Maybe this time on different incident. So let's see the SOAR gate, action, run playbook. Okay, it's here. I didn't notice. So now we don't have this nonsense in here and we are getting only the response from the ChatGPT. Amazing. Just keep in mind that this integration right here is only for demonstration purposes. Production environments would use privately hosted OpenAI service inside the Azure to protect sensitive data. But other than that, you can do amazing stuff with OpenAI. It's all about prompts and your imagination. If you are using ChatGPT as SOC analyst to make your job easier, this gives you opportunity to automate such tasks. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from it. And don't forget to subscribe and like for more content about cybersecurity in the future.